Benny Johnson was just threatened from another left-wing person. And the thing is that maybe a few years ago we wouldn't have taken this so seriously, but now we have to because we saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. So they are taking this seriously, and they're actually going after this person full force because of the threats that they made against Benny Johnson. So here's Benny at a press conference talking about the entire situation.
1 month ago today, I witnessed my friend of 10 years, someone who I considered a brother, a loving husband, a devoted father, a generational leader, assassinated on a live stream by a left-wing radical. Approximately 1 year ago, I witnessed the President of the United States get shot in the head by a left-wing radical, who also took the life of a Trump supporter in front of his daughters and wife. 2 months ago, Christian children kneeling and praying in a church were slaughtered by a left-wing extremist. And 2 weeks ago, federal law enforcement was shot at multiple sniper rounds in a federal facility by a left-wing extremist. If it's happening every single week, is it that extreme? Or has the Democrat Party mainstreamed violence as a political tool? The individual who wrote me described why he wanted me dead. I was a white, cis, Christian Trump supporter. They described in great detail how I would be killed in an open field just like Charlie, how much blood would come out of my head and neck when it was blown off. This individual described orphaning my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife with great joy. You might want to say, another left-wing radical, another extremist. And to that, I would like to direct your attention to the state of Virginia, where Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing, an individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with.
Now, the thing is that we have to take into consideration the fact that there are left-wing people trying to mainstream violence. What they're doing is basically lying. They're using a lot of misinformation and riling up so much hatred that that's effectively what's going on. Because that's usually their kind of counter to this whole thing is, well, we don't really tell people to go do this type of thing. But the problem is that that's exactly what they're doing. It's just in an indirect way. When you spread lies about people, when you tell people that, hey, this person is a Nazi, they are equivalent to Hitler, they are the most evil person on the planet, what they're going to do is to view them through that lens, even though that's completely false, and they're going to act on that. And the problem is that when you allow that to happen and when you allow this stuff to boil over, this is the result. It is going to cost people their actual lives and their livelihoods and going to affect families and everyone else, right? We've seen this happen far too many times, and it is primarily happening on or coming from the left, from one side. If you haven't already seen it, I highly advise you to check out Steven Crowder's Change My Mind, where he the big Change My Mind topic is the left is violent, right? So check that out because there's a lot of good information in there, but just proving statistically that it's only mainly coming from one side. And this is happening over and over and over, and it's getting more and more drastic every single time.
Killing of their children. The slaughtering of, as he says, little fascists. Are my 4 innocent, beautiful children little fascists?
Which, of course, by the way, they don't even know what that term means. They literally don't. All they know are buzzwords that they can throw around.
Violence has been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party. It is not extremist, it is mainstream.
And what's mainstream is the hatred of conservatives, of basically anyone that disagrees with them. That's what they've done. It is to basically dehumanize, which they love to use, trying to, bring it up in a different situation. But they're basically dehumanizing anybody that disagrees with them. And they're using that as the fuel to the fire. Because once people believe that, when they believe that these people are Hitler, when they, go through the lies and that's in their mind what is happening, somebody that's maybe a prominent left-wing figure might not think anything of it. But their constituents and the people that watch them or listen to them are going to know, and they're going to act on that. They're going to become that way. It's not this radical opinion when those types of lies are being spread by mainstream left-wing people. Just everyday left-wing people are believing this stuff. So it's not a niche thing or a radical idea whatsoever.
And we need a moment of reckoning here. This has to stop. This cycle must end. Is any Democrat courageous enough to disavow violence, to call for individuals that espouse these things, like what happened to my family, or what's happening in Virginia, to call for those kind of candidates to step down? Will Democrats vote for that? Because if you're voting for that, then implicitly you're encouraging it, you're endorsing it. I don't want political violence. I want peace in my nation. I love this country. I want to be able to debate like Charlie did. I want to be able to raise my family in peace. That is our birthright. But you cannot make peace with evil as a Christian. You cannot unite with people who want you dead. I want unity in this nation. I want to be able to agree on more than what we disagree on. But for that first to happen, we must understand the battle. We are fighting good versus evil, darkness versus light. And good must conquer evil. Do not make peace with evil. To that end, and in conclusion, I would like to thank federal law enforcement, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the FBI, the DOJ, the Tampa Police Department, the detectives here, with absolute pinpoint accuracy, professionalism, courtesy.
And we'll get into exactly what happened to this person and everything in a second. But yeah, this is literally good versus evil at this point. And I love what he's saying there, because you cannot unite with somebody that wants to kill you. There's no way that you're going to be able to change that person's opinion. And the only way that this will change in the country as a whole is if we actually have the mainstream media and mainstream Democrats all stop trying to spread these specific lies, specifically the Nazi stuff and all these buzzwords and terms that they use to make people that just simply disagree with them about one particular policy or whatever it might be as being the basically worthy of death, right? We know that Hitler was killed, so they're seeing that same thing. When you're calling them a Nazi, you're conflating the two things. You're basically saying it's okay to kill them. Because it's okay to kill Hitler. They agree with that. So why wouldn't it be okay to kill this other person you're calling a Nazi, right? That's what they're doing. So this is a major, major problem that's going on right now. So like I said, Pam Bondi and them actually found the person who was responsible for this. And it looks like they're also going to be arrested and facing full charges as well. So let's look at this.
Beautiful, beautiful young family. The author of this letter made it very clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead. This was a coward hiding behind a keyboard who thought he could get away with this. That's why we're standing up here today. You are not going to get away with threatening people in this way. And I'm proud to announce that we have arrested the author of this letter. George Isbell Jr. was taken into custody this morning, and we are charging him federally with mailing threatening communications. It is a crime, and if convicted, he is going to prison. This was incredible teamwork.
Yeah, and that's what has to happen. We need to start this before it becomes a thing. So often this was allowed. If you look at Twitter, if you look at Reddit, especially Reddit, and many other spaces like that, maybe even Blue Sky, these people are making open threats, and they think that they are above all reprimand. They can just say whatever they want, and that they're just going to get away with it. It's just online. What's the big deal? But the reality is that a threat is a threat. And instead of us now looking at this and saying, oh, they probably won't do anything, well, we can't discredit that. These people need to know that there are consequences for posting this stuff online. This one instance here sends a message to every single person that's sitting online thinking that, I'm just going to type this thing out, because all that does is solidifies that opinion to all of the rest of their followers and everyone else that they know, because it is publicly available online, and these people think that they are above the law. They think that they can do whatever they want. So this hopefully will be a change for the better, and will show these people that they cannot just continue to make these claims online for free and just completely get away with it without any consequences. There are real situations and real people's lives in danger right now, and we need to start taking these things very, very seriously. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think about the whole situation with the left and what we can do as a country and just as a nation to basically combat these people that are being extremely evil about everything. But remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.